Good evening to another edition of Mac and Moose Show. Mac, how we doing tonight?
Very good. Looking for a Judge 61 home run tonight. Pretty
Yeah.
excited.
Baseball's over for me. The White Sox are out, so I've officially just to fantasy football, and
Makes
yeah,
sense.
so we're gonna jump. Yeah, it's been rough. We're gonna jump right in and kind of go over. I think week 2 and great week, and there's already been some big trades. So yeah, I guess coming on and some other things to discuss. So I think we should jump right in, Mac.
All right. First game up. Me versus Teddy, and Kyler Murray just really ruined my day, and so did Jalen Hurts.
I do remember the draft, and I'm getting free, and then somehow Herm, and I thought, wow, that's going to be maybe the best quarterback combo, out there. And sure enough, that definitely came true in week 2. So Eddie moves to 2-0, you moved 0-2. So kind of, I guess, break down kind of how you're feeling.
Really not well. I did like that little trade we had today. I do need another running back. Obviously, Josh Jacobs and AJ Dillon aren't getting it done. And after watching Malik Willis get in for Tennessee, I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to have to start Mac Jones here over Ryan Tannehill. It's going to be pretty tough. But putting up 0 points just killed me. But I think it's going to be an easy bounce back. Everyone's coming into their own. It's only week 2, so we'll be good there.
Yeah, definitely close battle between you two. But yeah, now becomes for you a quick must win next week. Teddy, he's kind of in a spot, which we'll talk about standings here in a bit, but he's definitely in a really good spot. So yeah, a close one that came down to that Monday, but yeah, Hurts was just too much. So win for Teddy.
Yeah, Hurts went off for sure. Next game up, Josiah versus Eddie. Just a absolute smacking right here.
Yeah, I mean, Josiah's team very consistent. He obviously got good enough quarterback play. Everybody else kind of just showed up. He had no guys or extremely low points. Where Eddie had a little bit to that. No doubt that Herbert helped him, but and Lawrence even. But the rest of his team failed to reach. And his kicker failed to reach over 10 points. So that's Mike Evans gets obviously ejected there. That does not help, but
no. Well, and Herbert getting a little injured there too. I mean, I think he's still now day to day, so he's still struggling there. He's going to be hurting there a little bit, so I wouldn't expect those 31-point games coming from him anytime soon. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously Josiah, big day from Nick Chubb. However, it's kind of one of the things where the rest of his team, Nick Chubb scores one of those where if he just would have went down, the Browns would have won the game. So that kind of kills.
That kind of was a problem.
The Browns there. Oh well, I guess. Yeah, Josiah. I mean, you get 22 points from your defense. His I guess I was looking at so his receivers did kind of let him down. Hunter Renfro and Anderson, but Nick Chubb and Bill's defense combined with his core enough, and Eddie. Now I think everyone kind of thought to themselves that Eddie's draft threw him over, and I think you're started of that with his receiving core being not very strong, and he's got good running back depth, so he might be a guy that making a trade here, but it starts 2-0, so great start for him.
Next up, we got J-Mac versus Carter. Honeymoon Carter coming through, putting up some numbers.
I mean, Josiah on here to talk about league history, and I guess that's one thing that we should probably out what's the highest score for an individual week, because 189 comes to mind has got to be one of the top 10 scores. 55 points from Lamar Jackson. That is, wow, incredible.
That is huge. And then, Yeah, 189. He really put up some numbers there. J-Mac, I mean, that was a good little showing. Just you got to get the receivers going here a little bit, but I mean, he's
Yeah,
got
I
a nice
mean,
score
he
there.
kind of like we talked about last week. He's kind of staying true to form. A few good year, and then bam, right back. Kind of last. So he's definitely on round watch. We'll get other guys that are in the same boat. Mac's gonna have to turn it around quick, and Carter seems like he's I would say of all the. And again, we're going to talk league history in a minute, but you got to put him up there with the most consistent players in the league, and he's off to a really good start. So
Next up, Logan versus Walt. Another one I thought was going to go a little bit differently, but Dalvin Cook only getting the 2 points. That's what's rough there, but Carson Wentz just
Carson, I
doing
was
it
going to
again for
say,
him.
that is just it's crazy that he's the third ranked quarterback right at that. And yeah, I think obviously Logan's out to a good enough start, 1-1, but he's going to have an out at Quebec because both Matt Ryan and his backup Geno Smith are kind of not exactly permanent. God forbid Carson Wentz starts to struggle, his team could be in a little bit of trouble. And on the other side, you got Walt, who has made a pretty big. I don't know if has that gone through yet. No, it hasn't.
No, not
Right.
yet. Not for not.
Because
It's
he'll
not going
get
to show right now. For next
yeah.
week, it will, or for tomorrow.
Okay. So Walt's obviously made a pretty big deal, and that's kind of where I'd say there was some talk in the group chat today about was this a bad thing, but I will say it definitely applies pressure to people that start 0-2 or 0-3 or 1-4 or whatever, because you're kind of at that point realizing I might not make the playoffs, so that is out the window. Just got to be better than the worst teams left. So
Right.
Walt pulled on an early season deal, I think, because he realized that, hey, I got to do something here. It's not working. So that'll be very interesting to see how his receivers are pretty strong. We'll see if that pays off and he can get back on track.
Yeah, it's giving up Jared Goff after a 34-point game. It's going to be that and Adam Thielen. I saw that. We'll see how it works out for him. It could be the best thing for him. It could be the worst. But I think Kyle might have got a little bit better out of that trade than old Walt did. But we'll see. Yeah.
Kyle had to do something, which we'll talk about in a minute. So it was a good deal for both.
So
speaking
here
of
is
that,
Kyle versus Bill.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row, his team is just completely shit the bed. And obviously, your another starting quarterback getting hurt doesn't help. But yeah, he made a big deal, and we'll see how that works. Because right now, I think Kyle's in pure panic mode to not get shut around. And obviously, he's gonna have to.
They showed I think Cooper Rush showed too that he could actually throw the ball a little bit. So, I mean, I think he's going to start getting comfortable back there, not having Trey Lance, but now bringing in Jared Goff. That's going to really change things up for him. I think it's going to help. But
Yep.
Here comes Bill. I mean, if Russell Westbrook, Russell Wilson, it's either a run or a pass. You got to call it out. He's only getting 12 points. You're gonna have to put up some bigger numbers than that come later in the season.
Yep. I mean, points from 2. That's just if you take obviously you can't take that completely out of a score, but if he gets half of that was to reach 100, which against a team that was fully healthy, unlike Kyle's. But Bill's team, one that I think as the season's developed, you've kind of started to say he's got a chance and to be really good. And that had George Kittle on his bench because he's hurt, and Chris. I would say Bill's kind of on that early season watch list of maybe his team is for real this year. So to see it as the season continues to go.
All right, next up, Mitchell versus you, buddy. You got the win. I liked it.
I got a big win. Needed it. Can never overemphasize the season win, and especially when you start 0-1. I mean, for me, it was the pretty much similar story week 1 where Josh Allen balled out. The big difference this week was I had on St. Brown. He played very well, and pretty much everyone showed up except Cole Kmet, which I have to cut bait with. Justin Fields is another issue, so I'm obviously happy to get a win, but I have some definite roster decisions, and we'll see where that goes. But yeah, it was nice to play. He had both of his quarterbacks going out 1 o'clock on Jameis and Baker both really struggled, so I could kind of see that I would get that week 2 win. So Mitchell, I think Mitchell's gonna have I'm looking at his team right now. He's got a lot of guys on his bench like Allen Robinson, Earl Patterson, which are going to be headaches to decide when to play him, when not to play him. When you look at like Harris, like obviously that he's done well, but Patterson is kind of up and down a little bit. And really, I think for Mitchell, Jonathan Taylor is just completely in order for him to win on a weekly basis.
He's hoping for that run that he's hoping for that run Bill had last year with Jonathan Taylor, and it just doesn't seem to be happening this year. But so now, just for some of the standings, I was just looking this over. It's all even, man. It's the East and West are the same right now. But yeah, it's 4 people already looking at the Shadow Realm opportunity. I being one of them. But I'm going to be able to pull that out of there. Don't worry about that. But no, another dominant performance from the 2 tops. Carter going out there killing it, putting up some record numbers, and Bill still putting up that 129. It's a good little look.
Well, obviously, as we found out with the Browns, percentage points don't really matter because they were a 99.7% chance to win. So not that it really matters, but it is interesting percentage points when you look at someone like Kyle has a 15% playoffs, which is crazy that it's this early in the year and he's already at. But I guess maybe ESPN factors roster, so maybe once that goes through and if he can build upon that. But yeah, Kyle's definitely I think the leader. And then on the flip side, I really think looking at the teams, I think Bill the favorites. Obviously it's 2-0, but I really like his. On the other end, Carter obviously started, and then you got Josiah and Teddy, who they're just look to continue their winning ways and continue to build upon a good start. So yeah, there's a lot of good storylines headed into week 3.
Yeah, already exciting. Well, and speaking of Josiah, we think it's time to bring him on. So now introducing Josiah Hansen. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Not too bad. You naked again?
No, I was looking around. I can't seem to find my 2 championship rings are around here somewhere. I don't know where they're at right now, but we'll worry about that later. But yeah, just happy to be on. I'm glad to see the pod's thriving. I love the ticker. I love the new additions. The breakdown's always good. So cheers. Nice to be on.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks for joining us. And yeah, I guess kind of what we wanted to talk about today was history because you got a lot of newer people in the league, originally in the league. So kind of giving some background would be cool, and it might be a good memory lane. So obviously kind of take this you'd like to, but I guess my maybe initial thought, do you kind of remember how the league started, maybe what year it was, and kind of just go through that start phase?
Yeah, so it started back in high school. We were kind of messing around, but it really, so 2011, around there, we were like juniors, seniors, freshman year in college, I think, or maybe senior year in high school, 2011. It was like me, Mitchell, Justin was one of the original members, Carter, Kyle, Bill. There's a whole fiasco that happened with him and him not watching his lineup in the dorm rooms, some shenanigans like that. but kind of just started dicking around. I don't even think we paid money to play. I think it was all about competitiveness at the time, and the money started getting higher and higher, and it's grown into this crazy thing. Definitely one of the cooler things I've been a part of, though, I'd have to say, seriously.
And GGL, I know what obviously guys in the garage league, but do you kind of remember who came up with that idea, or was it Mitchell or one of you guys, or what was was the first garage you guys were in, all that good stuff?
I seriously think the first garage we were ever in was our first ever ceremony, and we were kind of just looking for a party, and it was more about the drinking back in those days. Not that that's changed too much, obviously, but I think it was your guys' place, Justin's house, your guys' place by the railroad tracks. It was the first ever ceremony. We're like, guys in the garage, we need something that represents the crew, and we were just literally in a garage. I think it's stuck ever since. We were partying in garages all the time. Back in high school, we would pregame in garages before football games. Really, it's kind of, we've always just been partying in garages. First ever ceremony, and I was in a garage and kind of took off from there. Pretty simple, I guess, but in a way, I mean, it's just kind of where we've always been. I think we've been in your garage a couple of different times, a couple of different places. The Barnes garage we've been in. Logan's shitty ass garage we were in one year, I remember. I mean, we've been garages all over the place. So it's just kind of where we live as a league, I guess.
Mac, does anything come to mind that you were thinking about the league for quite some time?
I just think that, at some point we need to really have a talk about what championships we are allowed to be counted here for this number, because, I mean, if we want to do like the pre-Super Bowl era, we're going to have to kind of figure this out and how we want to do that, because it's, for the people that actually have won a ring here, it's kind of nice. But then, when people are talking about their 8-person league or 6 or whatever it was, you just want to try to figure that out, because some of us have to take on more competition, and we're above the best.
Well, it kind of goes back to, you got to start somewhere, right? Mitchell won the original, like when we started making this a real thing. It's 11 years ago now. Mitchell won the first one in 2011, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's won one since. So over 11-year dry spell, 10-year dry spell for Mitch, which is a tough look, I guess, with all the commissioner responsibilities. That's it. He's got a lot going on, so he can't necessarily tend to his team. And then I think 2012, 2013, yours truly went back to back. 1 year was an 8-year man, so I think 8-man league was 2011, 2012. I think 2013 we moved to a 10-man league, and so I won in an 8, I won in a 10. I mean, you just play the schedule that's put in front of you, and talk about some high-scoring games. I don't know if anyone's ever been over 200, but I had to be damn close that year. I had Adrian Peterson, one championship year. There's a name for you. But I think we got to stick with the history, right? You don't take those away just because, some people weren't there or some people were there. I mean, you gotta respect the history of the league, though, build it up from the bottom. And nothing with me personally winning 2 back then has nothing to do with that. I think that we just gotta, respect the people who started winning in the league. You're a Packers fan, right? You're a Yankees fan. You respect a lot of history, right? I think that the Yankees won a lot of World Series way before everyone was in the MLB, and we don't take those away. So, I mean, it's kind of going from that point of view. I think you can totally understand. Do you agree? All the Yankees World Series count, Mac?
Oh, yeah, they all count.
Yeah. So they didn't just coming from, So therefore, I think all the rings in the league should count. I mean, and let's talk about the people who have never won a championship in the league. There's quite a few. Mac, you're fortunate enough. Congrats. What year did you win yours in? Do you remember?
I won mine in 2014, the year the Buckeyes won the national championship.
And then Matt won it the year after that, 2015.
Well, if you want to, I have a quick little snippet here to show all the championships. Yours are included. There might be a little asterisk.
Yeah, sure. Show it away. I think I have it. Can I try to rip these off and see how close I come?
Okay.
All right. So it was Mitchell first. I went back to back. Then was it? So that's 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014 would have been. You said you wore yours in 15
14.
or 14. So then am I missing one after me, or did you win the one right after me? Tell me there. I'll keep going.
I think I won it right after you. I forget now. It's in the little.
That's what I think. I think you won it after me. Then we had the whole quarters. Talk about league history. The whole quarters draft, which was one of our more fucked up drafts. I remember doing drugs in the bathroom. Matt was pretty much drafting Kyle's entire team, and Kyle won it that year. And then I would think it went maybe Justin, I don't know after that. I guess Justin, Teddy.
All right, just a quick one. Here we go.
I was gonna say Zach was in there somewhere. So that was a quick one. I saw I saw Zach in there, and
I think Zach was 16. I think Justin went back to back, and then it was Teddy, and then Carter went back to back.
A lot of Carter, Justin, Teddy mixed in there. So we got a lot of guys in the league that hasn't won. Zach won his and left. You've won one. Possibly leaving. I don't know if you're pulling the whole Brett Favre or Tom Brady thing with us yet, but yeah. So there's a lot of guys that haven't won it. You want to talk about guys that are historically known for having like a really good team, or the stats are against them. Walter Bach's one of those guys that comes to mind that can never win the big one. He's a lot like he's probably the most like his favorite NFL team out of anybody in the league, if you had to go off of that. Dan Marino never won a ring. Walt's never won a ring.
I beat Walt in the championship.
That's what I mean.
In 2014.
He gets close.
I had Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson, and they both combined for like an 80 points or something like that in order for me to win. That's
back when too. You want to talk about league history? We used to do a bye week or a 2-week championship. So back in the day, we did. You had to win like 2 weeks in a row, or was like combined points from 2 weeks in a row. I don't know if you were a part of that. I think you were.
I wasn't in that one.
So the year before, it was a 2-week championship, and we went away with that. The more guys we got, it's different with more games in NFL too now. But yeah, Walt's never won one. Surprised me. Bill will never. You guys, I hear a lot of buzz about Bill early, but if you guys are betting on him to win, I don't think the league is ready for that.
I think just from the predictions here, I think Carter's going for another one, unless some major injuries happen throughout this season. He's got a pretty strong team already. I think Bill. I think if he has everyone hitting, he's good. But if not, I think he's going to have some troubles there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is my first 2-0 start, and I don't fucking remember when. So it's nice to start off the year like this. And Eddie's looking like a shadow boy. Kyle really looks like a shadow boy, and it's interesting how all that's gonna take place. I mean, that's what it's all about here. We're grinding. We're on week 3.
Speaking of the shadow, I guess for sake, I know Mitchell kind of came up with it, or at least I think, but obviously you being in the committee, I'm sure you heard about it. So I guess what's the reason for doing that, or the history, or the idea, come from? I think that would be interesting to know.
Well, yeah, I'd say Mitchell definitely primarily had the idea. Well, the committee, we were talking there's times in a fantasy league. I think every fantasy league goes through it. End of the year, your team's shit canned. You're not really paying attention. You're like, fuck it. And when you don't pay attention to your team, you guys know it affects what's going on. And if people not carrying, they don't set their lineups, leaves the easy win, stuff like that. So we needed a real punishment. We thought about fining people. We thought about, verbal reprimands and stuff like that. And we're like, what would really, really make people play towards the end of the season, make this competitive? And nothing makes you want to play for, your job or your spot in the league. And that just adds, I think, an elite level that a lot of leagues don't have. I know when I pass that on and tell people what last place gets, you get a big fat black dildo, and then also you get kicked out of the league for a year and still have to put up with all the bullshit. I think that's an elite punishment. There's some good last place punishments out there, but I think ours is definitely one of the more severe and more elite, and I think that's what makes this league so good.
All right.
Awesome. Matt, any questions you got or any other things you guys wanted to add, history or anything like that?
Nothing that I have. We're going to move into upcoming matches here for week 3.
Let's do it.
Cool.
So we're going to need you to stay on here. Josiah, I got a little thing here. We're going to do pick'ems here at the end.
Awesome.
For game of the week. So beginning of week 3 here. Oh, technical difficulties. Oh. Really screwing the pooch here.
Still there?
Yeah.
We're good.
Give me a second here. As my screen goes black. All right, so upcoming matches here. Going so slow.
All right. I think I have. Who do I play this week? I think I play
Here, I got
Walt's bitch ass.
All right, so week 3.
There we go.
I'm playing Matt. Oh, man, and we just traded. And then we got Eddie versus Carter. I think that's going to be I like how the projection's 115 to 112.
In your guys' matchup? Yeah.
Ours is 105 to 111. And then we have J-Mac versus Logan, which if J-Mac could pull off his win, that would really help him out here. Tie him up with Logan in the East. And then for the next couple of games, we got Josiah versus Walt, and we have Kyle versus Mitchell. Let's see if that trade helped out Kyle here, and if he could pull one out with Mitchell.
I know. Talk about projections. I was projected to lose both of my games beginning of the week, but sitting here 2-0. So projections are a fickle friend. I'll say that.
And now for our game of the week. Teddy versus Bill.
Ooh, that's a good one.
They're
both 2-0, right? Yeah.
Both 2-0. We got Bill going in with projections at 111 and Teddy with 121. If Kyler and Jalen can do it, I think Teddy takes this.
Yeah, I do not like Bill's team. I seriously don't. Russell Wilson is blech.
I actually,
But,
I'm going with Bill on this one. I just had that feeling right now. He's got kind of a magic going, and I think that the Bills are going to score at will against the Dolphins. Or at least the Bills have been doing that against everybody else. So I think Tua is going to have to. I'm going to actually give the slight edge to Bill. I think Wilson's also due to have a big week. So you guys are going with Teddy.
I'm going Teddy.
With Bill.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Teddy for sure in this one.
All right, and so with this, we're going to do some new things here. So weekly now, we're going to do every guest that comes on, we're going to do a game of the week picks. We'll see who has the best record at the end of the year between all the guests.
Okay. I like it.
So we'll put that up, and then we'll see between Matt and I who has the has the better percentage there.
All right. So naturally, I'm a big Teddy fan this week.
Big Teddy guy this week for sure.
Okay, cool. I like it, guys. It's a good touch. Is there a prize or a sweet surprise for the winner, or just for shits and giggles?
I was just gonna do for shits and giggles because unfortunately we don't. Guess I'll have to set up a PayPal account if you guys want to donate to the show.
That'll be a pride thing, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be more of a pride thing. You get a little plaque, maybe piece of paper.
This kind of thing. All right, I like it. Very, very nice touch.
Thing I wanted to add is I've owned a lot this pod, and it's just that type of time of the year we're going through. So I do have I wouldn't say it's breaking official, but there should be a big trip going down here in the next few hours. So
between yourself and somebody,
me and Logan have kind of agreed in principle to something, and let's just say Derrick Henry is involved in the trade. So
don't do anything. I threw him out of trade the other day, and he asked me for a trade. I threw one out, and then he never responded to me.
I just proposed a trade to Logan too.
Yeah, it's kind of we'll see, but yeah, just like it's just kind of one. I was telling Mac on the side, but I thought Realm has definitely forced people to make quick trades, and you start 0-2, and yeah, you're about ready to sell half your team. Have to deal with the price that looms as the shutdown gets closer and closer. So
the pressure is real. I was close to the bottom last year. It's not a fun spot to be. You think a lot about it.
I got real lucky last year not getting put in there because it got down to the nitty gritty there at the end.
It changes people. You saw how Deeds has been acting lately. The shower room changes people. And Logan will never be the same. Sorry, yeah.
Anything else?
No, I was just going to talk. Yeah, we're good. That was awesome. No, I'm good.
See you, boys. Thanks, and good luck this week. And except you, Mac, because we're playing each other. But
yeah, enemies today.
Good luck and have fun. Yep. So,
all right.
Thanks for having me on, boys. Good luck.
See you, boys.
Bye.